What's good, people? Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2 is out, and we are talking about episode 13, if that's what you want to call it. I made a few points that I want to talk about the most appealing parts of the entire episode to me. So let's start with the first thing. Number one is the intro. Now let's talk about the music. So the music that they chose for this intro, to be honest with you, was a hit and miss on my part, because first of all the other intros except from season 3 part 1's intro were fire, and this one that we got right here is not bad, but at the same time it's not as catchy or as good as season 1 and 2, so it's a hit and miss right there. And the other thing I want to talk about when it comes to the intro is that if you really pay attention to every single thing that happens within the intro, it spoils absolutely every single thing that's going to happen in this season. And for someone who watches the anime and does not read the manga, this would actually disturb you, because they literally spoiled everything in your face right there. Everything right there is in your face. Now, I remember when season 2 came out and people were looking at the intro and they saw the Beast Titan running around with dinosaurs and whatnot, and they actually thought that we were going to get dinosaurs in season 2, but that never happened. And I expect an intro to be something like that, to give you some sort of fantasy or something to look forward to, but not completely spoil the entire story. And they basically spoiled everything within this intro. So for those people who like listening to the intro or watching the intro, I recommend that you skip it for this entire season, because if you do watch every single thing that happens within this intro, you basically spoil everything for yourself. So the next point is at the beginning when they are walking. So far the information we have about these titans is that there are a specific group of titans who can still mobilize during the day, and the reason being is that even though the sun is no longer up and the moon is out, they still get a little bit of sunlight, because the light that comes from the moon is actually refracted from the sun, so therefore they still are exposed to a little bit of sunlight, and they can still move around and do all kinds of stuff like a normal titan would during the day. So those are the differences between the new titans and then the old titans. Obviously they encountered one of the old titans and they pretty much didn't really need to fight that titan. So the next point I want to talk about is the dreams of the sea. So we get a little bit of background from Eren and Armin, and the main reason, or Eren's motivation for wanting to kill all these titans, and that's basically stemmed from what he discovered whilst talking to Armin when they were younger. According to Eren, because Armin has this grand dream that he doesn't have, he feels like in order to complete this, he obviously needs to escape this cage which they are trapped in because of the titans. And since Armin inspires him to achieve this goal, his only way to do this is by killing all the titans and breaking free from a cage. This actually reminds me of one of the soundtracks, the name of the soundtracks for Attack on Titan, which is The Bird in a Cage, right? And that's exactly what the symbolism was for, I think, the first episode, when we saw a bird flying towards the outside of the walls, which would represent freedom, right? And then we saw Eren staring at the bird from below, and that is symbolism for freedom. So the next one is Armin getting his own squad. Armin, from the episode 1, has actually proved himself to be quite useful. Maybe not as a soldier in terms of battle, but he is useful in terms of his mind. Eren did say that the reason why he got his own squad or his own team is because he has proved himself. So he's more of a strategist instead of a fighter, and that actually makes sense, because in a fight or in a war, you can't win a fight without fighters and a strategist. And obviously in Attack on Titan, everyone was expecting Armin to be that sort of fighter. And even when they were trapped with titans at the verge of killing them, Armin himself said that he's not much of a fighter and he's more of a strategist. So he actually has assumed his role and is taking it forward in this season. And we can see that by him gaining recognition by Eren, leading his own team by himself. And he actually discovers the hiding place for Reiner, and Reiner escapes, which leads me to the next point. The next thing I want to talk about is Levi. Levi is no time waster. As soon as he saw Reiner, a few seconds later, Reiner had 2 blades within his body. That goes to show how serious Levi is, and I really like the character, because it's very rare that we see characters in the anime where they just get stuff done instead of the classic talking that we get. Like Naruto is guilty of constant unnecessary dialogue, which just draws away the tension and the action at the same time. So Levi gets work done, and even though he nearly manages to kill Reiner, he draws back for some reason because he thinks that Reiner has some kind of new Titan power, and because of that, obviously Reiner transforms into a Titan. But that is exactly where the plot twist is, because they want you to think that it was a mistake, but the thing is, Reiner transforming was actually a signal, because once he does, we get a sequence of a whole bunch of Titans transforming at the same time, and in the middle we can actually see the Beast Titan standing there. Now the entire sequence was beautiful and unexpected at the same time as the Beast Titan standing there, and I really like how they all have red glowing eyes, which shows evil intent. Now, a question all the anime only watchers will have is, how is it possible that so many Titans are summoned there at the same time, in sequence, at the same time with the Beast Titan there? Now, I think the answer to that we will not get, or you guys will not get, until, I don't know, probably season 4 or 5, I believe, if it gets that far. The best 2 moments of the entire episode goes straight to Levi, not wasting time, trying to kill Reiner straight away, and then we have the Beast Titan throwing the boulder to lock everyone within the walls. And their plan, the plan of the enemy, is to trap the survey corps so they can end everything right there. So there's nothing better than the enemy actually thinking that they trapped you, when in reality you've been planning to be trapped the entire time, or you were planning to trap the enemy the entire time. So they have the survey corps themselves, like Eren said, they have a surprise of their own that they are waiting to use on the enemy. So I can't wait to see what they will actually do to these Titans, as well as Reiner and Berthold. For my Naruto fans on the channel, click on the left for 7 remaining mysteries in the Naruto universe, and on the right for Sarada awakening the Mangekyo Sharingan using Itachi's eyes. With that being said, that has been the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and you can subscribe if you think I deserve it. With that being said, I have nothing more to say. See you in the next review, and bye.